Okay, thank you. Good morning. I'm a Brazilian scholar. I come from the north side of Brazil, from the Brazilian Amazon, from Belém. Do you hear me? Yes? Okay, because people, okay. I'm sorry for that. So what I work, I'm a linguist. I work with language documentation in Brazil. So I work with the native Brazilian languages in Brazil, and I do the work of documenting and registering these languages. So that's, you know, no, not here. So Brazil is the biggest country in South America, right? We have a surface area or about 2.5 times the size of United States or China, for instance. And now we have, when it comes about talk about language diversity and language endangerment, Brazil does stand out because we have in Brazil 160 languages still spoken today in the country. But that's just a very small fraction of what we had there before the European colonization in Brazil. And what I would like to talk to you today is about the beauty and the diversity of these languages, and also the situation now, how they are very endangered nowadays. And to tell you why. So when we talk about languages, there is also people behind the language. So there is no language without people, right? So the indigenous population in Brazil is, according to our latest census of 2022, is about 1.7 million people. But that is also a small fraction of the total population in Brazil, is around 220 millions. And the indigenous population in Brazil, is spread all over the country. We have all the red dots there, shows where we have indigenous population in Brazil. And actually, these people in the north area, in the purple areas there, are the indigenous territories, because in Brazil, the indigenous population, the native population, have the right to have their traditional territories preserved and by the government. But the population is spread all over the country, and in the majority of the population, the indigenous population lives outside the indigenous territory. And that has an impact on their languages. Because when people leave their traditional territories, they tend to shift to Portuguese. And then they stop speaking their traditional language, the language of their people. And that's where my work comes in. Because in Brazil, and just if I go back a little bit here, in that colorful map there, the different colors indicate different language families. So Brazil is not, it stands out for the number of languages, but also for the number of different language families. What that means? It means that in Brazil we have 15 language families. We have families that are as similar, for instance, as Dutch and German, or that are as different as Dutch and Mandarin or Chinese. And this is representing that colorful map down there. And before I talk about what we are doing, the situation of the language, I'm trying to see if you can hear a little bit of the beauty of these languages. That is a song performed by the Macurapi people. That's the people that I have been working with at the border of Brazil and Bolivia. So if you have, I hope the sound comes out. Do you hear the sound? No. I'm sorry, I had all this technical problem before. I just like to show is that how the... No way I can do it here. That's what to show how the languages, because we have in the world 7,000 languages spoken today. And each language has its own organization, is a way of organizing the thinking of the people, what you can express by that. Another example, even if you don't know don't hear that, you can see the images here. That's the whistled speech of the Gavião people in Rondônia. These people, they use the whistle to communicate across long distances. So these two people here, they are separate like 5 meters. I know that you cannot listen to it, unfortunately, but they are only whistling. They are not speaking. And they are communicating. They talk to each other. They all went in a hunt expedition, and they are talking with, just through whistling the language. And that's a traditional way of communicating, which is kind of not so much too common in the world, but there are places in the world that have this kind of communication, where people can actually interact and express all kinds of information just by whistling. And that's one of the beauties of this, the diversity of languages and cultures in Brazil. And these special ways of communicating are very much endangered. Because the people are not learning to do that anymore. The people have stopped doing this communication. And what is happening in Brazil is the majority of the languages are very much endangered. So all the knowledge that is passed through orally from the grandparent generation, like these two women here, Miss Isaura and Miss Marina, have stopped. So we have a broken of intergenerational language transmission. So this map there, is just a shot of the UNESCO map, which indicates the endangered languages in the world. I gave a zoom in Brazil, and all the colors there go from black, that languages have stopped to be spoken, and languages that are vulnerable or very much endangered. And actually, the UNESCO underestimates the status of endangerment in Brazil. Is much, much more worse than they had estimated in this map here. Now, this is another map that shows that all the languages in red are languages that have stopped transmission, so that the generation of the grandparents spoke the language. Maybe the parents still understand, they can communicate, but the kids, they don't do it anymore. And that is a problem, because when they have the mother language, the traditional language, the language of feeling, that's like the language they take as their mother tongue. So they have this connection of the language of their grandparents. And when there is also a break of transmission, also breaking what kind of knowledge you can pass on to your kids and your grandkids. So what's happening in Brazil now is that there are very critical situations. There are languages that have just one speaker left, two speakers. Maybe some languages have four, like the Canoé. The Sacarabiá people have a maximum 12 people, 12 speakers. In the Macurapi, the one that I showed the song in the beginning, have less than 30 speakers. And all these languages are spoken in the state of Rondônia there, which is in the border of Brazil and Bolivia. So the endangerment situation is very high in the country. And what has happened is that the communities, they are very interested in having their language documented. So I'm a linguist, I'm also a native Brazilian person, because my great-grandmother belonged to one of these native groups there. And I also study linguistics. So my work is to document these languages. So I try to make long-term register of these languages. And by knowing these languages, we can also understand better the nature of human languages as a whole. So not just helping the community preserve the traditional knowledge and culture, but also keeping information for society as a whole, right? So they were asking, what could you, as a linguist, do to help us, try to revitalize our language or to have a better knowledge of the language? So there is one guy, the guy that was in the very first slide, that was Mr. Zé Augusto Canoé. He said, okay, I don't speak the language of my father, but I'd like my kids to learn something. So what can you as a linguist do? So what we came out with was these multimedia dictionaries with partnership with the communities. So actually we are replying to their demands, talking about Global South and Global North. Actually, we are a scholar in the South, but that's not my decision to make a decision what I want to do with this as a researcher. I'm responding to their demand to us. So we came up with these dictionaries where they can actually, we have is a social technology which is open source, open format, and we have a GitHub station which have everything is there. So we have developed that to bring to the community. We have also a site here in my institution. We have developed now 60 dictionaries for these languages already. And the interface is in Portuguese, but they all speak Portuguese, and they can go there, download the dictionary for their own language, and also play in their cell phone. So like we are moving the direction of we have an app that they can use in their cell phone. It's already working in the cell phone, but it's not downloadable. Like you cannot go to the app store and get it, but right now we are passing through WhatsApp to each other. So this is like the picture of the dictionary for one of the languages. That was the language that had just one speaker, and he passed away last year, but now the new generation is learning the language through the documentation that you have been doing and also using this app. I now really hope this thing works here. Yes. I'm sorry again that you're not going to hear the sound. That's really horrible. But we made this dictionary so they can go. That's the dictionary for Purubora language. And the speakers can go and learn it, organize it by, we have organized it by semantic fields. So they have fields for animals, for plants, for natures, for numbers. And then you go into any of this. So here we have now the word for the language, and then if I play here, normally you would hear the sounds. It's pronounced by one elder person, and then he said ayat, and then we have the translation in Portuguese, a picture that was taken from their own community, so it's a picture that's like proper to them, is known to them, and we have a sentence here, You can also listen to the sentence. So here he sees like the bird here eats palm peach or peach palm. So that's the way that they can actually not just see our written documents, because that way they wouldn't have any idea of how the language was pronounced, but they actually listen to the language. And they have been used that in their community, and it's very, very popular with them. What's that? Okay. Now we have a search engine. You have okay, also going like this. This indicates if there is a sound, if there is a picture for the So okay. Okay. So that's what we have been doing. We are actually organizing this kind of register and then the documentation for that. So that's how we can actually help improving the way they relate to that traditional culture. So in that sense, if people who actually have stopped speaking their language, they can have a sense and have like the way to revitalize the languages. And some of these people, I use that in a school. They use to. And I'd like to show to you another short video. Okay. So this one here is a small kid. He's 10 years old. He's great. His name is Gabriel. He belongs to the Sakirabia people. His great-grandmother spoke the language, and his grandfather still speaks the language, but his parents, his mother and his father, they don't speak the language. They didn't learn to speak the language. But now Gabriel is interested in learning the language of his great-grandparents. And through that app, which is like is free, and after they download it or they receive it through WhatsApp, they don't need internet access to use it. So you can use it even without internet access. And that's what they are actually doing, and that's how we actually are working this collaboration. So that's what I had to say to you. I'm sorry for all the tech trouble here, but if you have some questions, I'll be happy to reply. Thank you.
Hello. I thought you had a really good talk, but I was wondering, how do you deal with the grammar of the languages and the conjugations of certain words if you're only listing the words, or do you also list all the grammar and stuff?
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your question. Actually, we work with the description of the language. So I do description of the grammar as well. So the language that I have been working, I already started the grammar. And so that's why you have lexical words and also sentences. So right now, you can only have sentences and words, but it's possible also to have like a more organized grammar style of the language. And the language already have a grammar description that we have helped also. Thank you. Anyone more? Please.
Thank you for the talk. Could you please show the slide with the application?
This one? Or the other one? Sorry. Okay. This one?
You can find it in the App Store.
No, it's not in the App Store yet. That's what I told you. Like, well, actually looking for partnership that it can help us build that in a way, in a language that can be put in the App Store. So right now we are doing that very manually, like just 2 people work together, myself and a few students. No, so we are developing that the way that you now using. I can send an app through WhatsApp to the people in the community. They can download it and start to use it. The way that the little boy is doing. Now, we hope that maybe like in a year from now, we have it in a more professional way that we can have like around the globe. Thank you.
Okay, hi, my name is Flavia Juarez. I'm part of the DIBC project. Do you hear me? Yeah, okay. That it's being implemented in Peru and its border areas in the Amazonian borders. And I was wondering how you train the people on the use of this app, because I know you're working with some community people and they are not used to work with these devices or technologies from the information that I know. So I was wondering, how do you train them? I know that you developed this app with this in contribution with these Amazonian people, but yeah, I would like to know a little bit more of this, because we are also developing a digital solution with these community health agents. So yeah, if you could explain a little bit more.
Thank you. Yeah, the Amazonian communities, Bolivian, Brazilian, Peruvian are very same kind of situation. Right now, the community, they can use the cell phone. So if you have a cell phone, they just download it through WhatsApp and just like it is there. They don't need to do anything. Yeah. So right now, the community member, they can just like receive it, the package. It's like a APK, just a package. They can just click, it's gonna download in your cell phone, and they just click it, it's ready to use. But we are all together in gathering the words, the pictures, the sounds. But actually, it's like our job, to put together the access, the files, to run the script so they can use it. But for them now, you just download the phone. And also, like if you go to that page there, like for interesting, like from your community, you can go there. There is a GitHub package there that you can also use and build your own for your language or your community dictionary. So that's actually, it can be used not just for Brazilian Amazonian languages, but for every language in the world. Because we developed that as an open source package for everyone to use. Thank you.